An urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
time for the In the Cue Podcast with DJ Greggy C, Greg Curran, and David Hanscom. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Live. Just search for In the Cue Podcast or go to inthecuepodcast.com. Please like our show and share this broadcast to show your support and pass on the good karma to help educate everyone how to be the best entertainer they can be. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified when we go live, which is every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now, let's hear it for DJ Greggy C. and David Hanscom.
Oh, yeah. What up, what up? I can't hear a word you're saying, so hopefully you can hear me. There we go.
Welcome back there.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, that's good. Thank you, everybody. Now that I got my volume in.
It's okay. Sometimes we hit the mute button one too many times.
Right. Yeah, no. I do. How are you? How was your week?
I'm good. Carol, hey, thanks for checking in with us. My week was good, man. It was a blur. You know, I just had a lot going on this week.
Okay. I did
between working worked an event early last week that went pretty well.
Okay.
It was like a 3-day corporate event. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Like live streaming, you know what I mean? Like kind of what we're doing here. We were actually using StreamYard for the event, ironically, through another platform called Hopin. And it was sorry, I'm getting distracted by this baseball game. I might have to turn this off. There's a baseball game going on right in front of me here. I might have to turn it off.
Is it the Boston Red Sox? Is it the Red Sox playing? Is it the Boston Red Sox playing?
They are. They're up 4-0 now. Which is awesome. Yeah, no, it was an interesting thing because we had these different streams going to different stages for people to watch, you know, whatever they wanted to. So, excuse me, I know you know Nick, and viewers have heard me talk about Nick before. So he was doing one in one room, and I was doing one in a different room, and this was almost like a TV production. Like there was a lot going on, a whole lot going on. Yeah, so it was cool. It was a good experience. We learned a lot from it. There were some things that they didn't let us know, and then after time, you start to realize, and you have to assess the fact, like, okay, if people don't know that they're supposed to tell you something, then is it really their fault? You know what I mean? So we started having these conversations and kind of saying, okay, we have to accept some of the responsibility for making sure that we ask the right questions and we ask all the right questions. Okay. So It was a good learning experience, but it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it.
All right, cool. No, that was good. Good.
Yeah, man.
What up, everybody?
Braden, what's going on, man?
Braden, how are you? Andrew Rothman, thank you for showing up and saying hello and checking in. And thanks to everybody that's watching on our live studio audience on Facebook and YouTube, as I like to say.
You know what? I did have a little bit of a traumatic experience, though. At one of my events, it was, and I'm kind of saying that tongue in cheek, but it felt traumatic to me. I was at this venue where they always set you up outside, and there's no protection for sun, rain, or anything whatsoever. And you probably already know where this is going, but great night. Everything went well. 3 songs left to play in the night. Sky falls out. Now, everybody, you know, scatters like roaches when you turn the lights on, and forgets that there's like, you know, $12,000 worth of sound equipment out here. And so luckily the videographer was kind enough and cool enough to kind of help me, you know, and I have like that bun command center. So it's not easy to break down. Like it takes 2 people to carry. And then I have my Evolve 50s with me, and
so
I get everything inside. And then you know, this is like, you're already frustrated because you're like, okay, this is my livelihood and I hope it didn't just get ruined. But then people start asking you questions like, oh, is that stuff not waterproof? I was like, oh, is your TV or laptop computer waterproof?
Right.
Because it's all electronics, dog.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Hold on to my extension cord outside in that pub.
Oh, I tell you. And sometimes I think people just don't think, but in the moment, like you really get frustrated. You know what I mean? And that just elevates the level of frustration when people ask those kind of questions.
You know, our guest is going to talk about safety and all that.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that, and rain, etc. How are you there, Mr.? It's actually Young Fresh Prince Papa is in the house.
Oh, look at there.
Probably Prince is there as well.
Love it.
They sell these waterproof connectors when you're putting two, not necessarily two cords together. So you're going in from your powered strip that might have a long end into your extension cord. And a lot of guys like to wrap it not only in a plastic bag, but in duct tape for safety reasons. And then, you know what, if it's wet or it's on the grass, you know what I'm saying? There's no problems. Well, did you ever get electrocuted or get that shock that, you know, those?
Oh, I know, it's terrible when you get it, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. It's pretty, and it happened on grass. And I kept stepping in this one area. I'm like, why the hell can I step on there? And I'm like, I'm getting a jolt. And sure enough, it was from a cord. It wasn't even mine. It was like another vendor's, but they had a cord and it was just dewy grass. Really, that's all it was. And their connection, they must have laid it on the right spot. It made the right connection. And I always, you know, somebody says, thank God, you know, it wasn't worse because you were just getting something that was actually going into a ground and going into the ground.
Right.
You were just getting jolted. He goes,
Right.
because if not, he goes, you really could have fried yourself. But anyway, we'll discuss that. We're going to discuss that a little bit later. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know, there was last week. We were off last week, and rightfully so because the world's biggest billboard went down.
Yes, right.
Yeah, didn't it not? I mean, everybody was freaking out because they couldn't tell everybody what they had for dinner and if they were constipated or not because of it. That's which Facebook and Instagram literally were down for. I think it went down around 7 o'clock in the morning.
Quite a few hours. Yep.
Yeah, and it came back like literally an hour or so before our show. And that said, you were out of town. You know, I was actually called to an emergency anyway, and we decided, you know what, we'll tell the bosses we're out of here. You know,
we'll be back next.
We'll be back. Yeah, exactly. So that was last week, because the internet was down and that stopped the world. So we decided to stop as well and take a break. Yeah. Week before that, Yerp. Remember Mr. Yerp?
Oh yeah, man. That was a good chat, man. I like me some Milk D, man. He's a good kid.
And you know what? I think it's good that we can showcase, you know, newer DJs or especially those that, you know, are doing certain things like even Braden. When we had Braden on, I thought that was the coolest thing, Braden, that when we had you on, you know, you and Papa especially, but just because of what you're doing and how you're carrying the torch. So bravo.
Oh, he's like a superstar in demand now, though, man. Like he was the high school football DJ, the NFL football DJ, basketball team DJ. This guy, dude, man.
I'm jealous. I'm very, very jealous because, you know, I lost my thing. But
we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him at one of the DJ expos pretty soon, doing a presentation on, you know, how to work with sports teams. I've seen one about that before, but I think he probably can drop some knowledge as well pretty soon.
Well, when this stuff all comes back, and I'm sure, hopefully, you know, if I can't get my guys at Peavy or maybe even Reloop. I mean, Jamie at Reloop has been nothing but forthcoming on this. I think we could have not only like somebody says, why don't you do a contest where you can get somebody to spin at the expo? I think I could do one better. I could just put it up to see who wants to do it. Send us some submissions, and you know, if you're good, we'll have the people pick you, and there are going to be several. You know, I did that one year with the school. It worked out well. Step y'all's game up.
I like the swagger, man. I like the young swagger.
Watch it, son. He's awesome, man. Much love to you, pal. But anyway, he now he threw me for what I was saying, but that was an important part. Yeah, Braden, if you ever want to DJ at the expo, up on stage, you know, play some sets, and you don't necessarily have to mix, but it would be a plus. But those guys that didn't look, they throw those songs out there that you're just like, whoa, like, you know, bang, and there's another one, and bang, there's another one, because you got to remember you're playing for DJs, you're not playing for dancers.
Right.
So I'd like to offer that up at least for Atlantic City, because Peavy is expecting a big hard comeback, especially when all those ships bring all the goods and services or goods
that'd be nice.
back into the United States. So
that's going to be interesting to see what the holiday shopping is going to be this year because of that. You know what I mean? You know,
my opinion is, look, I'm an OG. You know, my holiday shopping is, tell me what you want. I'm going to go to the store and get it. Now, I'm not going to go from store to store to store, but if they don't have it at the store, I'm getting the next best thing. You know why? Because they're out of what you wanted.
Yeah, makes sense.
I am. Yeah, you're going to tell me, I want socks or I want Boston attire. Okay, I'll go around the certain store. I'm going to get you some cool Boston attire. I'm going to get you your socks, or I'm going to get you your sneakers, or this or that or whatever. But yeah, man, I'm old school. If you want a frying pan, I'm not going to wait for it to come from Amazon or across the sea. I'm just going to go right to the store and get it.
Yeah, makes sense, man. I don't blame you.
Yeah, so that's that's it. So anyway, love to Milk D, but also love to our next guest. And by the way, you're a contributor, and it's right above your head too. They're one of, we promote you all the time, Mr. Pro Mobile DJ. The owner of Pro Mobile DJ is here. And I don't know. You read that while I go through this bio of our performer.
Just a quick note from Braden. Yeah, good note.
Okay, yeah. Oh, totally. All right. So our guest tonight, Chase Jewell. He's been in the DJ world for over 15 years. He's starting in clubs and bars and then moving on to mobile events. From the beginning, he's always had a fascination with pro audio and lighting gear, starting when he was a child at his church. Chase learned audio mixing and light skills. He's been studying sound and lighting ever since then, learning the ins and outs of every new piece of equipment that could possibly make his performance better. His mobile DJ company, Jewell DJ Sounds, serves all of Indiana and some of Ohio, Kentucky, and Illinois. In 2016, Chase started writing for Pro Mobile DJ. Since then, his articles have been helpful and informative for mobile DJs. His writings have also been featured in the Mix City website blog and the blog for the National Association of Mobile Entertainers. In 2019, Chase accepted the editor position for ProMobileDJ.com, and as editor, his goals are to bring back Pro Mobile DJ to the former level of excellence it has. Chase can be reached at editor@ProMobileDJ.com or chase.jewell, Jewell, at Jewell, Jewell, DJ Solutions.com. His website is JewelDJSolutions.com. You can get him on social media, on Facebook or Twitter. And I think his hashtag is going to be underneath his name when we welcome him into the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chase Jewell.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Chase?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just doing the dad thing. You know how it is.
All right, man. So right off the bat, anybody that actually looks at the promo picture, dude, I love you. Look like a member of ZZ Top off of that. I have to totally use my energy and go there. And I was just and I remember you because we go back to the together at the Pros and the American Wedding Group, and it was very similar. That same look. And I was just like, wait, who is this guy? That maybe Chase can't make it. I don't know.
Well,
I know.
I'm a hobbyist beekeeper as well, and going outside to just check on them, and they tend to get caught in the beard. Okay. And I don't like getting stung in the face. So
all right.
Sounds like somebody's getting stung in the face right now.
Really, poor little kid. Oh my God.
Yeah, my 2-year-old's a little fussy right now.
Oh, so. That's all right. Nah, no worries. But I was like, wow, maybe Chase can't make it, but no, you know what? You can see it in your eyes, my friend. Just any good investigator, can tell that out. But anyway, look, what have you been up to besides the whole Pro Mobile DJ thing? Like you personally.
So I'm a father of 5 daughters.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm a husband.
Wait, and your hair is not white like mine?
Yeah, take that hat off.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh, bro. Wow.
It will be though. Give it a few years. It'll be like pure white all over.
5 daughters. Okay. All right. That's all. That's blessed, man. You got a blessed family. Okay. And you said DJ and lighting too. So you do a big lighting production as well?
For my clients, typically I throw it in with my DJ clients, because what one goes with the other, and
Okay.
one scratches the other's back. So it just helps to have that as a great add-on for my clients.
Okay. All right. Look, let's jump right. I want to jump right into this because literally your website, promobiledj.com. And for those that don't know about it, I mean, show after show after show, we talk about it. As a matter of fact, if you noticed, your banner is up with when we do our podcast, it's up there with everybody else's, with ProX, with Inno, with Peavy, considered one of our friends of the show, partners of the show, etc. Plus, we're both writers on it, but it's a blog that talks about information, but also education, which I'm big into, obviously with the school. David is big into. So it really goes to what we want to talk about, the importance of continuing education for DJs. Is that one of the reasons, besides your love of lighting and audio gear, that brought you to this blog?
Yeah. So in 2016, I was getting my business back up and running or 2015, 2016, I was getting my business with Jewell DJ Solutions up and running again. And because I just moved to Indiana.
Okay.
And at the time, I saw that Stacy Zeman, the owner of Pro Mobile DJ at the time, was needing writers. So I'd always thought about education and wanting to help other DJs hone their craft about equipment and sound and how to operate this and how to operate different lights or different speakers or different mixing boards. So I offered that to Stacy, and it just blossomed from that. And the biggest thing I like about it is I get to educate people, and honestly, I'm not looking for the accolades from it. I just want people to become better DJs.
It's spoken like a true educator.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, if you ask David Rye, it's the same thing. It's not. It's really just so that when we hear the stories, we don't hear the bad stories anymore. I'd like to hear those less, and like to hear so much positive success stories. I'm a firm believer, and I know David is. You throw positive stuff into the universe, positive stuff's going to come back at you. So
yeah, absolutely positive begets positive. And I mean, from the standpoint of education, it's kind of like teachers. Usually they're the underappreciated people that really make a big difference in everybody's lives. And in this case, sometimes a lot of the efforts that you put together is probably underappreciated, but definitely appreciated by folks like us who really care about, like you said, it's important to, I've always told everybody who will listen to me, and believe me, that the older I get, the less those people there are, but the ones that will listen to me, I try to always tell all of them, invest the same amount of money in your education as you are in your equipment, the 2 E's, education and equipment, and figure out somehow the best way to invest equal amounts of portions of money into both. I agree you should have good equipment, but good equipment with poor education, not going to get you very far. Good education with mediocre equipment will get you a lot further.
Exactly.
And then you can get the good equipment.
Exactly. And, when I started, I was stubborn. I'll be honest. And I didn't realize I was getting further education at the time, but looking back, I had a kind of a mentor in Memphis whenever I was starting out, DJ Crumbs. I don't think he's DJing anymore, but he pretty much kind of took me under his wing a little bit and helped me get better. And for a while I was like, I don't need to go to these expos. I don't need to listen to these seminars or read these articles. And then something just clicked in my head. I was like, well, if I don't, then how can I expect to get paid the amount that I'm wanting to get paid for my events? when I'm not offering a level of service that is equivalent to that.
I think that's a phenomenal point. Actually, I mean, you think about any other field of industry, any other business, people that are making the good money are the people that either have a degree in something or the experience in something. There are some of those outliers that, they find something, maybe it's in the tech world or something like that, and they're making, pretty good bank right off the bat. But for the most part, the majority of people in any realm, any industry that are making any kind of good money have either gone and got a formal education, like I said, or they've been in the job for an extended period of time. And so I think that's a very valid point.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I've been, since that clicked for me, what really started it was someone had suggested to me that I purchase the Getting What You're Worth audio stuff just to listen to the seminars. And the Getting What You're Worth thing, that's controversial. I kind of tied in with what Hugo Drax with ADJA and Carol with Name has been trying to preach to entertainers for years about, hey, get a business plan.
Thank you.
Get a business plan.
Hey.
So that tied in with other stuff. Like I started getting books like The Go-Getter or The Go-Giver and Sales for Event Pros and all these other continuing education books. I started listening to the previous Mobile Beat seminars on back in the day when Mobile Beat had the Digital Plus, where you can listen to the seminars in podcast form on Apple. And I would just go through and I just pick a podcast of what I wanted to learn that day, and I just listened to it in the car. And once I started doing that, I started seeing a big change in my performances at events, and ironically, also my sales presentations to my clients, because I had a lot more confidence with my craft because of the education.
Yep. I love that.
Look, it's paying off. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your business. It's continuing education. You should learn till the day you die, my friend. I mean, I believe in it. I mean, yes, we all have a certain amount of egos. We got to keep them in check, but the best way is always to try and learn from everyone around you. Everybody is going to teach you something, whether it's that lesson, to keep yourself in check. That could be one of the lessons that you're learning from somebody, or you learn from the mistakes that others make around you. You don't have to learn from the right movements that they make and all that by copying them and making them a mentor, but learn from their mistakes and you don't make those mistakes that others make.
Definitely.
So, all right, cool.
Well, and just one thing, Greg, I want to touch on what Chase said, which was I really liked, is even going back and listening to some of those older things. I mean, I know from a performance standpoint, sometimes things can evolve and change, but basic business principles really don't change. Not only do they not change from year to year, but they also don't change from industry to industry. So you can get basic business principles by even listening to maybe a presentation that was done at a Mobile Beat in the early 2000s. Still going to be tangible, valid information today. And you can get those basic principles from podcasts and audiobooks and reading books and all of that shit that have even nothing to do with our industry, because again, basic business principles apply across the board.
Yes, they do.
100%.
Yes, they do. You just gotta learn how to meld them into what you're doing.
Yeah. Yep.
Whether you're making widgets or you're teaching the electric slide or whatever it may be, you're playing, you're just playing music. That's all,
Look at this. This is great. 23 years ago, Hall of Famer John Ross gave me the best advice I ever got from anyone in Las Vegas. Invest in yourself before podcasting, audiobooks, and live stream platforms existed. Yep. Wow. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. Fabulous. Stepping out. Fabulous. Shout out to Shout out to him and a shout out to one of our students, DJ Andrew. Welcome, Andrew. Happy Monday. All right, Chase. Let's move on to the next step, which because look, you're an audiophile, and an audio gearhead, just like we are. And when your next topic, it hits close to home with me. I love it, and I loved what you added at the end, about properly using your gear, not only for great sound and presentation, but for the safety of guests.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff I see out there on Facebook and stuff, and I'm just like, all that would take is the wrong person putting their weight in the wrong spot, and bam, you got a lawsuit on your hands, and you got somebody injured or possibly even dead. And then you have to live with that because it was your setup that did that. And my biggest thing, I've preached on it for a long time, is cable management. I can't preach on cable management enough because I see people just throwing extension cords out, and stuff like that. Gaff tape isn't that expensive, so
you can use gaff tape or the reusable. If you want to be reusable, use your reusable Velcro strips. And run it right down the pole. I've seen guys that say, "Well, I'm hiding it by wrapping it around the pole." I'm like, first of all, it doesn't look good, and second of all, it's not the way that cord is made to be. And then they wrap their cord up wrong. They bunch it up and throw it away, or put it in a bag. And
technically with power cords, you wrap them around certain types of metal, you can create a magnetic field doing that.
Yes, you can
possibly ruin your equipment.
Yes, you can.
So that's another safety issue that you're creating for yourself.
Right.
Another thing is trip hazards. Like you want to take that stuff down or put a floor mat down or something, because
yeah, look, I didn't add my boxing bell. It's like a ding ding each time you're saying this. You hit the nail on the head again. You're right. Trip hazard, the hazard of a shock hazard. I mean, there's so many different things that just one extension cord or the cord that powers your equipment. I mean, how many times in your career, guys, that if it wasn't correctly, somebody came in behind you, didn't even notice, and tripped and pulled your system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then there's a lot of these guys I've seen, and I'll be honest, I've been guilty of it in the past as well. Trying to fly different gear on truss and stuff like that, and the liability with that is, as a DJ, you're not a licensed rigger to rig that stuff up. So if it were to fall, like the clamp that's holding it to the truss fails and it falls and hits someone in the head or something like that, then not only would you be liable for that person's injuries, your insurance is liable to drop you.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, bub. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, yeah. Enough said. If you don't know what you're doing and you do things wrong, or you go above and beyond what you shouldn't be doing, and it causes injury, harm to another person, you're in trouble. Yeah. You can end up losing more than just your business.
Definitely.
That's, and it's funny. You see it all the time on Facebook. And the one I see constantly is whatever it is, it's a presentation. It's all these wires coming out of the back of a board, and it's just a conglomerate of wires. And somebody says, give this DJ a name or something like that. And to me, I see something like that, and that is an accident waiting to happen. I know what just do is on a certain night when we play outside, what do can do just sitting on your equipment, and being a guy that stepped in the wrong spot on dewy grass and gotten that jolt, like that. And somebody said, somebody that works with electricity said, you're lucky it wasn't worse. You're lucky it didn't knock you out. He said it was grounded somehow. You were just getting some of that juice.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, definitely. And part of that as well is making sure that guests at these events can't reach around your equipment and possibly spill anything on your equipment, using a facade properly, or at least just having an area that's set up to where, hey, the guest is not reaching over your
Right. Oh yeah.
stuff.
No, and that's look one of the guys who our next week's guest is a big proponent on having a facade. Every DJ that works for his national company, well, you work for that company as well. I mean, the Pros Entertainment Services,
Yep.
they demand now that everyone have a facade. It could be a point back and forth where some guys say, well, I don't know, but that's their company. They can say what they want to do. And right there, Chase is a point. They're not going to take a cup and put it behind that facade because even if they were to try, it's kind of awkward and hard anyway. And that's where you hide all your shit.
And I mean, David mentioned he uses the Bun Command Center.
Similar.
Or a similar setup.
Yeah.
And that doesn't leave much room to set stuff. It doesn't leave much room to set stuff on the top of the table. So that eliminates that. That eliminates that.
They'll try to if they can, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, definitely.
Or the drunk people will literally come up to you and say, do me a favor, hold this. No.
And I've seen a lot of creative ways to keep it off the Evolve 50s, like building little angled platforms to go on the top of the subunit, just so it's not flat, so people can't set stuff down on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Put little spikes on the end of your subs so nobody can stand on them. Hey, whatever. Sit on them now.
I usually put
a little electric field all the way around it so that when people try to touch it, they get electrocuted.
Yeah. Here. All right. Here's a question from the studio audience there. Chase, what are some of your favorite audio and lighting companies?
Oh man. So I mean, to be honest, all the audio companies are really good at what they do. Some of them have their own niches, like Baseball said, hey, they're all about the bass. So like if you have an event where you want a lot of bass, then
no pun intended, right? It's all about the bass.
But personally, I like to use QSC and EV stuff. But that's just personal preference. Peavy makes great equipment as well. I've used that in my
thank you.
In my church experience, a lot of the built-in systems used Peavy equipment, and it sounded amazing there. For lighting, I love ADJ, American DJ lighting, as well as Chauvet. Ape Labs makes great products as well. Their uplights are by far phenomenal when you calculate the size and the use time. It's just amazing what they have to offer.
Killer. All right, Dave, got a question for him? Anything you want to ask?
No, it's funny you brought up those Ape Lab lights. I've been really wanting to try to get a hold of some of those and check those out. They do seem pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
I got to test one. That's all I've gotten to do so far. And just testing it for the amount of time I had it, makes me want to like buy everything they have. So
yeah. Well, yeah, Vince, is that what you have? Do you have the ADJ lights, Vince? Vince has these. They look like little small triangles. They're battery operated. They're small. They're lightweight, but boy, are they powerful. And I think that's exactly what Vince has. They're expensive.
If they're triangles, I think those might be the Chauvet Tri-Wedge.
And I could,
but
Vince will be able to type in and tell us what they are. And they might not be triangles; they might be squares. And he's going to tell me that I'm a fool and I'm an idiot. But whatever. Not be the first time I heard that. Anyway, look, and I have to send a shout out to Chauvet too, because they have some really cool stuff. And thank you for the shout out to Peavy and also the other friends of our show, because they're big good friends of the show as well.
And honestly, my Reloop, I have my turntable setup is all Reloop.
Okay. Oh wow.
I have the Reloop RMX.
That's
90.
right. Oh, I did see that when on your picture when you're looking down. When I'm like, wait, there's the guy from ZZ Top again. No, sorry, I keep saying that.
I got the RP 8000 turntables.
All right, very cool, man. That oh wow.
And
so you are a beat mixer.
Yeah.
All right.
And I love the look. I mean, lately I've been carrying my DDJ 1000 SRT to events just because it's lighter and
yep.
I'm 37 years old. I'm not getting any younger. That coffin case is pain.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder his hair's still brown. He's only 37 years old, Dave.
I know, right?
It's my 13-year-old daughter's favorite phrase. It's only that. It's only $500. It's only, but yeah,
Too
dude.
funny.
37. Wait till you're 57. Yeah. Then you'll talk about what's heavy and what's not heavy.
Now I am planning on getting individual cases for the turntables and the mixers so that it's easier.
these line array or what Peavy calls their LN system, where it's like a stick or Bose had it first, and then when they released the patent, everybody else got one. Peavy got one, EV got one, Baseball's got one, everybody got one. Which are cool. They're great. And the one thing I noticed about those are as well. And we set it up this past weekend because my buddy DJ Cutlass had one. I helped him with the 50th. He took, instead of putting them one on top of the other, he really just split them to the side, put them on speaker stands because they fit perfectly. They had a little in on it, and they sounded great. I mean, actually, they sounded way better if they were stacked one on top of each other, which makes sense.
Yeah,
because you're kind of splitting the stereo sound and it's not mono. But my point being, those suckers are light, man. Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
They are very light. And to be honest, for most weddings, those setups are perfect.
We had a nice.
I don't know of a wedding that is big enough to justify what most DJs used to use the 15-inch two ways with the subs and all that.
Two behind me, I got two Peavy XP 15-inch. Not good. It's heavy.
Like and I still use the two 15 inches, 15 inches and a sub.
Yeah, no, let me qualify. Let me qualify what I said. Not good for my back at 52.
It's not good for my back at 37. But
I don't think it's good for anybody's back.
But let me tell you about the sound, bro. Yeah, I mean the sound.
But at the same time, there's a tool for every job, and if you get if you got the EV 50s, the Evolve 50s that you got right there, why use the big stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nope. That's why I wanted to do with Peavy's LN system. I want it because after I heard it the way it was displayed this time at the gig, I couldn't believe it, and the sub was hidden underneath. And really, for a 50th, I assumed the sub was overkill. This was a Caucasian party, as I like to say.
Yeah.
And there was no need for the boom, 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 boom. It was too much. And they said, turn it down. I said, we took that sub off. I said, then they would be telling us to turn it back up. But regardless.
Well, to be honest, for most of my events, I turned down the sub.
I don't even carry mine. I don't.
You turned down for what?
I turned down.
Stop.
I see what you did there.
Stop. He's picking me lobs. I
turn down the sub, or I'll turn down the low range on the mixer, just because at weddings, a lot of the music sounds a little better without all the low range in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
But once the party starts, I actually turn it back up.
Okay.
Because you don't want at dinner, you don't want people bumping and doing all that. Man, you must have lost signal or something.
Somebody's being mean.
And there he went. He's out of there. He's gone, friends and family. Just like that, it's you and me, Chase. And Greg will be back soon.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
No, that's funny. That's funny. He should be right back. Usually that happens once every 4 or 5 shows, and he'll be okay.
I
man.
I'm actually using the same technology of the wireless setup with the iPhone and all that. So
yeah. No, it happens. It's no problem. What are maybe some other pointers you can maybe share with everybody about? See, he's back that quickly. What are maybe some other pointers you can share about, just common sense as far as safety when it comes to, safety of the guests, safety of even yourself, and if you have an assistant or something like that from that standpoint?
Well, just to be honest, be smart about how you're loading stuff in and all that. A big thing that I've noticed that I have a bad habit of is just bringing all my stuff out of the truck or the trailer, just setting it down, and it ends up in a big spread out pile in the middle of the room until I get all set up. And then, well, the other vendors have to walk around that stuff too. And
good point. Yeah, that's a great
liable
point.
to trip, and then your insurance is dinged for somebody falling and breaking their ankle on a bag that you just set there because you were setting up.
Yeah, man, honestly, such a great point. I bet most of us don't even think about that, but wow, that's spot on.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right. How about let's talk about, I want to talk about our final topic that we wanted to, and it tripped me up because both of these expos are rebranding. Everybody says, "Oh, you're going to the DJ Expo, in Atlantic City," which is now not DJ, it's DJX. Or you're going to MBLV, no longer MBLV, correct? It's now called MEX, the Mobile
Entertainment Expo.
Mobile Entertainment Expo, okay. And then DJ Expo. So that's interesting, the rebranding. Explain to everybody what you were explaining to me earlier in the green room about Mobile Entertainment Expo, please.
So the reason for the rebranding, and I'm not sure if it's 100% the reason or not, but Rob from Photo Booth Expo ended up acquiring Mobile Beat from Ryan Berger, I believe. And last year they continued. I think he acquired it just before Mobile Beat last year. And he just continued. He just let it, since Ryan already had everything planned, he just went ahead with it as is. And during the off time, he rebranded.
Okay.
So Mobile Beat Live is now Mobile Entertainment Expo.
MEX, because I was like, MEX, did I write something wrong here? Because technically they had the Photo Booth Expo out in Vegas, and then they had MBLV. So really they took 2 expos that were literally 3-4 weeks away from each other.
Yeah.
And also I think right after the DJ Expo, the PPA's out there, the photographers.
Yep.
It's like you might as well go out there and stay a month in Vegas and party with.
Well, and to be honest, I just found out about this recently after getting my email on Mobile Entertainment Expo.
Yep.
But everyone that buys passes for Mobile Entertainment Expo, at least the full passes, are allowed to go to all the seminars for the Photo Booth Expo.
So the Photo Booth Expo, they're still keeping it. They're not bringing it all together. They're having the MEX and then they're having the Photo Booth Expo still.
Yeah, but it's at the same time in the same hotel.
Interesting. Okay.
Nasty.
Yeah. All right. And then this whole what's the other the WED LV or something? What the hell is
WED MBA or something like that?
Yeah. Wedding MBA. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's still they're within the same kind of aspect, right? I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
That's a pretty broad one, though.
Is it, David? It's pretty broad.
Yeah, I mean, Wedding MBA is for like all walks of wedding and event vendors. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have different tracks. One for DJs, one for photographers, one for wedding planners. Okay. There's gonna be some that brings everybody in. It's almost like you're almost like signing up for it's almost like you're signing up for like a college course or like a college degree when you go to Wedding MBA. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's very elaborate in what you can do and all the different things that you can do with that show.
Okay. Yeah. No, it makes sense. So yeah, they rebranded them, and you even mentioned this before, Chase. You know that you didn't do that, and then all of a sudden you realized, hey, you know, maybe I should be doing that, and you realize the importance of attending these expos. Correct? Can you like elaborate?
Oh yeah, and what a lot of people don't understand when they're first getting into the business side of DJing is any expenses you spend on education, whether it going to seminars, going to expos, flights to the expos, hotels for while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
It is you can write that off as a business expense.
Hold on. Let's rewind and say that again. I need to have a rewind sound effect. So there's the bell. You know, you said it right there. Everything leading up to this trip, including your food, including the airlines, everything is
food is a little tricky.
It is tricky.
You gotta. I think you can only write off half of food expenses.
Back a few years ago, if you did it correctly, you wrote the names of the people that you were sitting down with. You know, you just wrote on there. I remember my mother-in-law is H&R Block, and she guides me through the way and helps me do certain things. But I don't know if they
write the names down you were there with.
That was it. And literally,
you had. If you mentioned it at all, guess what? It's a write-off.
And literally, I would look at you, and we would say photo booth or DJ, but it's hard for DJs not to even talk about the business anyway. So,
right. If I go out to dinner with the DJ, we're talking about the business
Of course, we're talking about business,
if not the whole time.
Right, and it's a sin that more, if not 90% of our dinners aren't write-offs. But you know, we do the right thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, all of that. You're right. All of that is a write-off. Besides, if you buy any equipment out there.
Yeah.
I mean, from your Ubers, literally from your Ubers, because when I went out to NAM, and I was like, wow, I'm going to spend a lot of money. And the first thing that was a lot of money was going to be the flights. Well, I used my points. Second thing was going to be a room with a bunch of guys, you know. So from there, everything else that I spent, I just put it on my business credit card, and boy, I had a nice tax deduction.
And I'll tell you that Rob with Mobile Entertainment Expo, he's chosen the South Point Hotel. It's kind of off the strip.
Ooh.
So
nice.
It's a little cheaper.
That's not a bad idea.
Per night cost as far as a room goes. And you get a discount with the code that you list. I think it's on the website. But they have a lot of great speakers coming this year. One of our writers, DJ Jess, is going to be a speaker and performing at the DJ Takeover. So,
speaking of Jess, she was a guest on our show as well. Yeah, I know. She's another one of those DJs that's exploding on the scene and just keeps going up and up and up. We like to have those types of guests on our show. Yeah, Jess is all over the place. And that's awesome. No, that's. I would expect nonetheless out of her that she's not speaking at the photo booth.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Pretty soon she'll have a residency in Vegas. That girl.
I mean, she is phenomenal at social media and branding as far as social media is concerned. And for her to be speaking there about that kind of stuff, that's amazing.
But that just. And what's the word I'm looking for? It shines about the person she is. If you ever met her and felt the energy that she gives off and the way she markets herself anyway, she is just a fabulous person to be around and to meet, let alone what she portrays on the social aspect and being super, awesome at it, Oh my God.
Definitely.
And she's just, it's like each time I see her, there's something cooler that she's doing or has done. So
kind of like DJ Rachel. She's Rachel Lynch. She's got that same type of personality.
Rachel. Well, you know what? There's another one. And if she doesn't reach out to her, I might just reach out and track her down because I see Rachel, and Rachel's been spitting out a lot of knowledge on a lot of the sites, you know, in the Facebook groups as well. She makes her presence known in a lot of these spots, and I've been watching her and reading what she says. I'm like, you know what, rock on. It's just continuing education and great knowledge, that I like to suck up for myself and pass along to everyone else the best I can. So anything you want to add, Chase, before we get out of here?
Yeah, just Pro Mobile DJ. It's a free resource for all DJs. So if you want to learn, we got articles dating back all the way to 2011, I believe. Ben Stowe has articles on there. Brian Red has articles on there. There's a lot of great minds on there that have articles even in the past. And as we said earlier, that it might not. Technology changes, but some aspects of stuff do not change. So you can always learn something, even if it's a little bit outdated.
No. Like, look, David writes, I write for it. Jess is a writer. There's a lot of fabulous people out there giving their knowledge, and I love how it's all combined in one spot. And guys, it's promobiledj.com. When you watch our shows and it's just David and I, it's really easy to see the banner. And we like to literally, throw your website at as many people as we can for the sole aspect of A, it's a free resource. B, it's for good karma education, man. Continuing education.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to continue to keep it free because it's just, for some people, it's the only resource they have, especially when they're starting out in the business. So
oh yeah. Oh, true. Yeah. And they're not really, they see all these other Facebook sites and all these other guys talking on there. And really it's just like speaking up in a group. There are people that they're really intimidated sometimes about saying certain things, but on your site, it's not a back and forth. It's really here's the information. If you have some comments, you can put them down or send us a question, but it's like it's a magazine or a textbook saying here's something really cool you guys need to know or you should know, which is whether it's about equipment, it's about lights, or it's about the education of it all, of the how-tos of mobile entertainment and DJing.
Les did an article about being an empath and how that can help you as a DJ. So, there's everything for everybody out there on that site. So
that's somebody that reads minds, right? Like that, a DJ that does that,
and feel how other people are feeling, which a lot of DJs do it without even knowing it because they read the dance floor. So
okay, all right. And then, now I get it. I you know what I did? I'm like empath. I'm like, I thought it had to do with like psychic ability. So it's like that girl with the tentacles on Guardian of the Galaxy. She's an empath.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, kind of. I get it. No, I believe me. I know a few. It's just like, whoa. But they also have the ability. And those people that have that gift have the ability to change somebody from a positive to a negative in like seconds. And I think it's almost by the energy that they portray if they know what they're doing. But anyway, I digress, dude. You're awesome. Your site's awesome, and thank you for hanging out with us and sharing some knowledge.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to tell more people about Pro Mobile DJ. I think it's kind of gotten lost over the years.
Well, now it's going to be imprinted at least on all of the social media sites that we're on. It's going to be imprinted on Facebook or YouTube, as long as we don't have any copyright violations and play any dirty music or whatever we're not supposed to do, which we don't. We try not to do. Or we leave the politics out of this and all that kind of stuff. Kind of. But yeah, we keep it clean. We keep it educational. So everybody knows now, promobiledj.com. It's a free resource. Education at its best, as I like to say, and continuing education at its best. Exactly, what we discussed in the beginning, and it's awesome. I'm proud to be a member, and thank you for allowing me to be a writer.
Yep.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for y'all's contributions to the site as well. It's been really great to have you guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Dave, you want me to send everybody out?
Yeah, why don't you do what you do best and MC our outro, buddy?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another amazing episode of In the Cue Podcast with Greg Curran and David Hanscom, and tonight's guest, Chase Jewell from ProMobileDJ.com. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like our podcast and subscribe to get notified of future episodes. Follow us on social media at In the Cue Podcast. If you'd like to be our guest on our show, or you have any ideas for a show, please email us at hello@inthecuepodcast.com. See y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Usually I get this has ended. Did it end yet, Dave? Or
we're still live. Why not? Let's just be live forever.
Let's just be live forever. It's not.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
It's hey, we want to go into overtime and
It's
start the
camera
overtime
now.
party. We can beg Chase to DJ. Maybe he's trying to. Oh, it is still live. He can't kick us out.
Well, we're still live.